be my guide.
Well, I think it's ironic that people used to wonder how old is the Earth, but the answer was underneath their feet in the rocks all the time.
Yeah.
They were walking on the answer.
Yes, and they just didn't have the knowledge of finding out how to open that book and read that.
Of course, because you are retarded, Christ-Psychotic retarded. Christianity gives a lot of ignorance and stagnate the intellect.
We're going to gaze into an abyss of time. Many people come to the place we're approaching.
Religious psychosis makes people ignorant and they will never understand anything. There he is. He proved. The retarded Christ-Psychotics will never understand it.
The river is digging the canyon deeper at the rate of 1 foot every 1,000 years.
Mm-hmm. What to carve this cathedral out of nothing?
Yep, yep.
And how long has this erosion been taking place?
Well, at least 5.5 million years is what they say.
Usher's 6,000-year age for Earth had to be wrong. The layers of rock revealed by erosion showed a still greater scale of time.
Now, Dave, when I look at a rock, it's boring. A rock is a rock is a rock. But you're telling me that each rock has a story, right?
Well, that's true, Michio. You can see all the different colors of the layers in the canyon.
Mm-hmm.
This red layer right here would be a siltstone that formed at the edge of an ocean. And you know, it took probably 1,000 years to form 1 inch of it.
1,000 years? Oh my God. So you're telling me that
incredible.
All of human recorded history, going back to the Babylonians and the Egyptians,
would be just that much.
Just a few inches.
Isn't that staggering? Yeah. Floods and rivers and streams and the ocean coming in.
Staggers the imagination.
It does, indeed.
Equivalent to Usher's time scale for the whole of Earth's existence.
Usher was a Christ-Psychotic retard. That was the reason he didn't understand this.
A scale of time that was inconceivable.
And it's perceived by our brains.
The result, therefore, of our present inquiry is that we find no vestige of a beginning, no prospect for an end.
If the Earth wasn't 6,000 years old, then just how old was it? He collected a sample from Canada, which lay forgotten in his office. It held an amazing secret. When Sam got round to study the rock, he wanted to discover its age, so he extracted a mineral called zircon. Present in nearly every rock on Earth, it's a treasure to anyone interested in time.
Incorporates uranium into its crystal structure. Uranium decays to lead.
This decay from one element to another is like a ticking clock. Measure the proportion of uranium to lead in the zircon, and you know the age of the rock it came from. Thousands of other samples, the Canadian rock appeared unremarkable. Once emerged, Sam realized the rock's true significance.
It was the first time we knew that we had a very old rock.
The longest time span he'd ever seen. In fact, Sam had discovered the oldest fragment of Earth ever found. An amazing 4,000 million years.
Compared to the other rocks in the shop, this rock looks pretty ordinary. But this rock represents a landmark in our understanding of time.
My rock is a fragment from a giant meteor that left this. The Behringer meteor crater in Arizona. 100,000 tons of rock from space collided with Earth and blew the ground apart.
When the solar system first formed, it was full of rock and debris, out of which the planets and the Earth condensed. However, there were some bits and pieces of rock that did not condense.
And those leftover rocks remain, primitive relics from the birth of the planets.
That's the origin of the meteorites. They share a common age and common origin with the Earth. So if you know the date of this rock, then you know the age of the Earth.
The Earth is 4,600 million years old. Earth time is unimaginably vast.
Take that, Christian retards. Learn science, get educated instead of going.
And if we begin to understand the immensity of Earth time, what does that mean for our sense of our place within it?
Millimeter represents 1 year backwards in time. Here we are in the present. This is me in the 21st century. And if I go back 5.8 centimeters, then we reach 1947. That's the year I was born. Now let's talk about the Roman conquest of England. That took place in the year 43 AD. For that, we had to go back about 195 centimeters to about here.
Even the length of my table represents 2,000 years. But I want to measure out the whole of Earth time. And 4.6 billion years is going to take me a whole lot further. On this scale, every mile is an epoch of nearly 2 million years. A human lifespan seems so insignificant. I've traveled 2,500 miles, 4.6 billion years of time, the entire age of the Earth.
8 years. That's how vast Earth time really is. My own lifespan is nothing but a pimple on the face of Earth time.
Constantly changing, but it happens so slowly that we're simply not around long enough to witness it. Around 5 million years ago, that something remarkable happens in our journey. The first ape men appear.
This is about when our ancestors first left the jungles and forests of Africa to live in the grasslands and savannas. It's when our ancestors began to walk upright, which freed up the hand. The thumb, which was once used to swing in trees, can now be used to make tools and to grab things. That's what we begin to separate from the apes and begin our long journey to become modern humans.
Yeah, by creating God
For us,
and
it
delusions
still seems a long, long journey from ape men to modern humans.
with our brains.
But in the time span of life on Earth, it's a mere stroll in the park. Civilizations get going only a few thousand years ago. We're just one tiny part of life's 3.5 billion years
That's beautiful.
journey through time.
Dr. Kaku is brilliant. Brilliant man.
Humanity and all our glories will be gone.
To the Christians, they be raptured.
99.9% of all species that have ever lived on the earth are now extinct. And one day we too may be erased. Our new perspective on the vastness of Earth's history teaches us that life is very transient. When and how we may meet our end, nobody knows. But evolution teaches us that one day the human race too will die out. To the medieval mind, death was viewed as a phase, as nothing but a natural continuation of life.
Medieval mind, yes. So the ones that believe the same garbage today are retarded. Thank you.
To get everlasting life in heaven, you have to trust that heaven actually exists.
Yes. And heaven
Speaking as a
doesn't.
scientist, I think that there is a problem with regards to the afterlife and religious immortality. And that is, there's no proof that it exists. Remarkable
Right.
claims require remarkable proof. But maybe you don't need proof. Well, I do.
And so do people with healthy brains, able to tell between the puerile and retarded religious psychotic beliefs and down-to-earth reality.